welcome to the next generation of golf. This is EA Sports Rory McIlroy PGA Tour. Hello again, everyone. This is Rich Lerner here to walk you through some lessons on how so many historic moments have played out before our eyes in major championships, and today, two of the top players in the world are set to tee off. Rory McIlroy holding a one-shot lead over Martin Kaymer. It's the final round of the U.S. Open Championship at Chambers Bay.
Going into the final round of any golf tournament with a chance to win, especially a major championship, it's a huge buzz. That's the only way I can describe it. It's the best feeling a golfer can have because you're in the mix and you're in with a chance to win one of the biggest tournaments in the world. It's an incredible feeling. It's something that you may only get to experience a handful of times in your life. So, that atmosphere, you want to soak it in as much as you can and really enjoy it.
Rory McIlroy coming off a strong performance yesterday, now making his way to that first tee box and looking to add another major championship trophy to his already growing collection.
And Rich, there's no doubt both golfers will be nervous until they get that very first tee shot under their belt.
The first tee shot is probably the most difficult because you've been thinking about that shot since the night before. Once you get that first shot out of the way, you calm down, you're a little more settled, you're not quite as anxious or nervous, and you sort of get into the rhythm of the round. You want to get off to the best start possible, and obviously that starts with that first tee shot.
Well, there he is, Rory McIlroy, a past U.S. Open winner, set to tee off on what could be an historic day of golf, set against the beautiful Puget Sound. And he's underway. Frank, it looks like a good one.
It looked like a free-flowing swing, that's for sure. It certainly betrayed the nervous feeling that we thought he might be feeling on the first tee. And a huge tee shot.
But you've been there, Frank. Nerves are good on the first tee, even for great players.
If you can control them.
Perfect lie here, Frank. What's Rory got?
Well, expect something just slightly right of the flag. You want to avoid the hill and the bunkers on the right. And there's a little bit of a gut or a chasm just over that left side of the green. So left, not a good option.
About 145 yards away.
Oh, solid strike right in the heart of the green.
Looks to be a good one, Frank.
Oh, nestles inside 15 feet. So a birdie chance coming up for Rory.
Opportunity to put pressure on Kaymer right out of the gate.
It's uphill, Rich. It should, if anything, move to the right. Just depends on the speed of this putt, whether it's left edge or outside. And early advantage, McIlroy.
I think making putts early in a round is very important. It sets the tone for the day and it gives you some positive momentum early. You see the ball go into the hole and it gives you confidence. You face a downhill putt at a US Open with greens that are as tricky as that, it just makes it even more difficult. I feel like you always face important putts no matter when it is, but obviously they're that much more important when it's the final round of a major.
Now over to the second. McIlroy with a challenging downhill putt. And I know it's early, but this is the type of putt that can really generate some momentum for the rest of the day.
Well, this putt's only 12 feet, Rich, but it's downhill. And because of that, it's going to be very, very fast. You're almost going to putt this like it's only about 8 feet long. Now the speed of the green to take it the extra distance.
Down at the bottom of the barrel. Good start for Rory McIlroy. Back-to-back birdies. So second shot here at the fourth, and this one sets up pretty well for McIlroy, doesn't it, Frank?
It's an easy one for him to work out. A little bit uphill, perhaps a club. And with 165 yards, playing closer to 170, 175, still a birdie opportunity.
Playing this par 4, still not on the green after that second shot.
That's still not done. A good third shot, maybe get away here with par.
Bunker shot coming up now for Rory. How's this part of his game, Frank?
It's certainly improved over the last couple of years, and it really has to, because he plays such an aggressive style of play that you have to accept the miss, just like what we saw in that second shot.
Did the smart thing there, Frank. Took his medicine, back out onto the fairway. Now his fourth shot. Certainly had enough power, just didn't have any touch. Bunker shot coming up now for Rory. How's this part of his game, Frank?
It's certainly improved over the last couple of years, and it really has to, because he plays such an aggressive style of play that you have to accept the miss, just like what we saw in that second shot.
Not enough on that one.
Yeah, just seemed to baby it.
There's some times when there might be a wait on a tee box, or you've played your shot and you're waiting on your playing partners to hit their shots, and you just look around and you realize where you are, because you don't really you don't appreciate it that much whenever you're playing, and that's not what you're thinking about. You're thinking about trying to win a golf tournament and not really taking in the beauty of your surroundings.
Well, this is one of the most spectacular spots on the entire golf course here at Chambers Bay. The ninth, they call it Olympus, and what magnificent views as Rory McIlroy gets set to tee off here on this par 3.
And there's a great view, too, of how exposed this golf course is. So if the wind is whipping, this hole can play very treacherous. Won't play its full yardage, considerably downhill. Club accordingly for that, 1 or 2 clubs less. And green a little narrow when you get towards the back. So this shot really has to be respected. He's taking the trouble out of play.
Not a great shot, but not bad. And getting ready for the putt. I thought that was in.
Yeah, it looked good. I mean, line, pace. It's hard to be critical of that.
So a tester from 4 feet. Well, you can see the golfer is just boiling right now after that miss, and a drop shot here at the ninth.
Oh, it just shaves the edge.
And just like the lone fir tree, there is now just one man with the lead, Martin Kaymer. Rory now in second behind Kaymer, looking at a difficult second shot here at the par 3 15th.
Missed the green on the left, Rich. Just that pot bunker between him and the hole. And there's only about 8 or 9 feet of green to work with. So this flop shot is going to have to be hit very high to make sure that ball lands soft. And at this point, it's critical to save par. Rich, you get that feeling. If there's going to be a moment, I think that moment is now.
Trying to clean this up, make his par. And that's in for a par.
Final few holes to play, especially of a major championship like the US Open. You know, it's what you've worked so hard for. It's what, you know, you've put all those hours of practice in for, and you know, this is your moment. This is your moment to see what you've got against the best players in the world and test yourself at the ultimate level. There's obviously a lot of pressure. You know, you don't want to let an opportunity like this pass you by. You don't want to let it slip. So just stay really focused, really concentrated. Try to take one shot at a time. Try and put the result out of your mind. Control what you can control. But saying that, it is difficult with so many things going on around you, whether it be the crowd or it could be the person that you're going up against. You know, there's so many things that you can't control, but you know, the things that you can control, that's what you have to concentrate on, and that's what you have to try and, you know, do to the best of your ability. And if you can do that, that's what gives you the best chance to try and win a huge tournament like the US Open.
You couldn't ask for much more than what we have right here. Two former US Open champions, 17th hole, tied for the lead, Martin Kaymer and Rory McIlroy.
And Rich, it's easy to remember these types of situations, and it's as much about mental toughness as anything right now. The 17th hole is named Derailed, and I'm sure it's a great test for both men's mental toughness.
That one is just a little offline, and that will not end up in the fairway. And setting up here in the rough. So he is safely aboard, but nowhere close to the hole.
Now McIlroy cleaning up here at 17.
That's just a poor putt right there. No other way to say it. And a drop shot, a bogey at 17. And he makes it for a bogey here. One hole left to play here at the United States Open Championship. It all comes down to this. Frank, what does Rory need to do here off the tee?
Well, he has a big advantage, Rich. It's unusual actually to have a par 5 in a US Open as a finishing hole. He's slightly longer than Kaymer off the tee, so he has more chance of reaching this par 5 and 2.
Nicely played shot, about 310 yards down the fairway.
You know, Rich, so often we associate US Opens with just a straight slog, par after par, but this is a real treat. Kaymer at his best, McIlroy at their best, playing anything other than US Open style. This is a totally different generation.
Brilliant golf by the two Europeans. This one doesn't look too good, Frank.
Yeah, there's a bunker over there, and it's heading towards it.
Yeah, it's in the bunker. Okay, a bunker shot here, a shot the pros really like. The amateurs, they don't like it as much.
Can still birdie the closing hole.
McIlroy now trying to apply a little pressure to Martin Kaymer. This is for birdie. The door was open, but Martin Kaymer slammed it shut. Kaymer, the U.S. Open champion yet again. It came down to the final hole. Kaymer really put on a show. This will forever be remembered as one of the best finishes in major championship history.
Lose a lead or you lose a major, or it doesn't quite work out the way you had hoped. At that moment in time there's obviously a lot of disappointment, but I think that passes and you use that as motivation for the next one, and that's the only way you can view it. You can't feel sorry for yourself, or you can't get down about it, because what's happened's happened. The past is the past and you move on, but you use it as motivation not to let it happen again. My toughest loss was the 2011 Masters, when I had a 4-shot lead going into the final round and you completely blew up on the back nine. It was a very tough moment for me. It was very disappointing, but I used that as motivation to say to myself, that's not going to happen again. That's not the player I am. That's not the player I want to be. I used it in a way that 70 days later I won my first US Open and my first major. So sometimes disappointments can be catalysts for good things to happen in the future, and it's just how you react to it. And I feel like, if you react to your disappointments in the right way, they can be very beneficial.
In the world of professional golf, there exists an elite club. A club filled with legends, household names, and rising stars. A club where membership is earned yearly with time, sweat, and dedication. This week, 50 players will gain entry into this exclusive fellowship. The top 25 from the regular season have already secured their spots, and another 25 spots are up for grabs here this week. Some dreams will be realized. Others will have to wait another day. Who will be next to join the likes of Jason Duffner, Grant Snedeker, and Keegan Bradley as the next great Web.com Tour graduate? EA Sports and the Com Tour proudly present opening round coverage of the Web.com Tour Championship. This is the fourth and final stop of the Web.com Tour Finals. Pressure-packed environment. 50 PGA Tour cards are up for grabs. Frank, this is a great day for golf, and the conditions here at Ponte Vedra Beach, Florida, look to be really good.
Rich, scoring conditions are absolutely optimal today. Expect to see a lot of low numbers.
Action continues at the 7th. Has not been a stellar performance to this point, but Frank, not too bad.
When you consider 4-round events, Rich, you're going to have a period where there's a little lull. As long as you can minimize the damage over the course of 4 days, it turns out all right. Oh, that was sweet. Straight down the middle.
Strategically, Frank, how do you like to play this hole?
You've got to be aware of where you don't want to go. That front right bunker is probably the easiest bunker shot on this hole, but there's a little pop bunker on the left. That one there, always difficult to get it up and down. There's a bunker over there.
I think he's headed for it. Into the thick stuff, that's a difficult lie.
Under out of the rough. Expect the ball to jump forward a little bit.
How about that shot right there from that lie in the rough to knock it that close? That's good. Settles in over the putt. Tough game, Frank. You can hit 300-yard drives and miss 3-foot putts.
Yeah, there's the ecstasy, and that's the agony.
A makeable putt right here. He is currently sitting at 1 under par. So with that, the score is now at even par. TPC Sawgrass, the fabled stadium course designed by the legendary Pete Dye. Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo. Here at the 8th, Frank, most players are happy walking out of here with a par 3.
And the reason why, it's a very narrow entry to this green. It's just littered with bunkers around, left, behind, to the side, and even short. Once you get further up the green, though, even though this is sort of an undulating green, it starts to widen up. So don't get trapped into just looking at the front of this hole.
Great shot coming out of that bunker right there.
Showing some skills today.
Shouldn't be a problem here. Nothing wrong with that par putt. Frank, the 9th is really a good par 5, isn't it?
There's so many options here. Just play it away, sort of 3-wood it down there, then go to the right, then sort of wedge it on the green. But it's very tempting, especially in the right wind conditions. And that's if they're coming over your shoulder for a right-hander from right to left. Then this par 5 is very reachable.
Well, this one is offline just a bit. Look out. That one is going to end up in the rough. And that one rolls just into the rough.
Now you have to decide whether or not that ball's going to fly or not.
Second shot coming up here at the par 5.
Hazard?
Maybe he went for the brief swim there, Frank. He's trying to stay dry now.
He is, just trying to avoid water on the brain as well. This will take a good swing.
Playing his 4th shot after the 3rd was wet. So, Frank, he'll take a drop here.
Yeah, he'll take his medicine, take his penalty shot. The hole's not over yet. Rich, after it, you've already made one mistake in the rough. There's a chance he's going to make another.
Just trying to get it back out into the fairway and not make a big number. Into the tall cabbage. That ball is swallowed up. Frank, anything you do differently from the rough in terms of your swing? Do you hinge the club a little bit more quickly?
Normally put the ball just a little bit further back in your stance because you want the club to be going down. Down, it's got to go down through the grass, through the ball.
Mishit, wrong club. What happened there, Frank?
All of the above, maybe. It's a little bit of a head scratcher. Wasn't that hard a shot.
Coming out of the rough and right up next to the hole. Really not much to this. The only issue would be a lack of concentration or focus.
How did that not go in?
Oh, man.
Just pushed it.
Boy, that hurts. So, with that, 3 over par now for the round. Getting set now for the back 9 here at TPC Sawgrass. Frank, what should we expect?
Well, there's a good run of holes. 10, obviously very birdieable. 11th, the par 5. 12th, a short par 4. A good chance to get this round really going.
Frank, he is one of the longest hitters in the game, but at some point, you have to hit a fairway.
Yeah, he's certainly not the straightest. I think that was the bit you're going to put in the middle.
Second shot coming out of the rough here. So the second of the par 4 goes begging, and now I'll have to rely on the short game.
Yeah, but a short game, as we all know, can redeem a lot of mistakes. See if he does it here.
I'll tell you what, Phil the Thrill, Phil Mickelson could not have done it any better. What a bunker shot. Shouldn't be a problem here, but not a formality either. Well, not in contention, but in for par. Let's go to the 11th now. It's a par 5 and a fun hole, Frank. You can make anything from 3 to 7 here.
And that's why, as the start of the back 9, especially on a Sunday, this becomes such a pivotal hole to start a run. Big body of sand down the left side that sometimes the longer hitters can get close to with the tee shot, but really it's the second shot. If you can reach this par 5 and 2, it's a very narrow green. The layup, well, it's actually an awkward layup, Rich, because you've got to push that ball to the left side, almost like a zigzag approach.
Frank, I think that's going in the bunker.
Looks like it.
That one ends up in the rough.
That went sideways.
Frank, what's the best way to get at the golf ball when it's sitting down just a bit in the rough?
You have to accept the fact, first and foremost, that you're not going to get clean contact. So you have to decide whether the ball's going to come out short or it's going to fly. Because very rarely will it come out the normal distance of what you hit on the fairway. So if it's a little thin and wispy, chances are it might fly. If it's nestled down, you're going to have to take at least another club.
Superb shot.
Well, it's as good as it's going to get. There's going to be no worries about making that one.
Hasn't been easy, but he'll take it. That's a par. 3 over for the day. Well, that about wraps things up for us here today. I'd like to thank my partner, Frank Nobilo. Enjoyed it, Frank.
Certainly did, Rich. Once again, the golf course provided more than a stern test.
And for the entire team, I'm Rich Lerner. Until next time. EA Sports and the Web.com Tour proudly present second round coverage of the Web.com Tour Championship. Moving into the second round of the Web.com Tour Championship, the fourth and final stop of the Web.com Tour Finals. And Frank, you can feel the pressure building.
You certainly can, Rich, and I expect that we're going to see more of what we saw yesterday, which is some fearless golf. And these guys are playing for a PGA Tour card, and they're not backing down.
Frank, now the second shot here at hole number 6.
Yeah, not overly long, but be very aware of these palm trees that are short. Many a shot's caught those trees coming into this green.
Playing this par 4, still not on the green after that second shot.
That's still not done. A good third shot, maybe get away here with par.
And he's made it onto the green. Not a gimme, but well within his range. In for par. Frank, the 7th hole here at the TPC Sawgrass, vintage Pete Dye, isn't it?
It is. Anything other than straight confuses the player off the tee. But there's 3 pot bunkers down the right side, just inside that last little pot bunker on the left of that. It's actually a pretty good line.
Not quite what he wanted. Tee shot is in the bunker. Frank, what are the problems posed with a fairway bunker shot?
He's got to hit it nearly perfect, Rich, because the bunker's going to magnify any mistake he makes. This is where you really have to focus on great contact.
Out of the sand and back on the fairway.
Yeah, good shot. Just really utilized that little bit between the ears. Realized he couldn't reach the green and instead opted for fairway.
And that's how you play the game, right there. Locked in on the read and the speed. good putt. Frank, 17 here at TPC Sawgrass gets all the attention when you look at the par threes, justifiably so. But number 8 is a daunting challenge in its own right.
It is, longest of the 4 par threes, plus it's just littered with bunkers around the side, the back, and the front.
Safely aboard. Different day, different hole. Made bogey yesterday. He'll do better this time, it looks like. Frank, how much does that birdie help the cause?
Well, it doesn't look like much right now, Rich, just sneaking inside the top 20. But at the end of the day, that might be the one that turned the tide.
Frank, now at the 9th, this really is one of my favorite par 5s in the entire sport.
And I certainly enjoy watching people play it today, Rich. It used to be unreachable, but the longer hitters now, we're starting to see them go for this par 5 regularly in 2. And the reason why, they start to hit the drive more down the right now than what they used to. People used to try and go down the left side. The right side, it hugs the water, but you get a better view of the second shot.
Playing his second shot here at the par 5. Frank, narrow entryway to this green here at the 9th. Short shot, but kind of difficult.
Yeah, don't want to get too aggressive here. You missed the green on the left, that bunker there, very difficult to get it up and down. And of course there's the 2 little pot bunkers on the right side.
Playing a par 5, Frank, what happened on that third shot?
Yeah, it's a poor decision. But, well, hopefully he can eradicate that from the memory banks and really knuckle down on this. Do not want to drop a shot or make 6 here. That was not an easy bunker shot. He made it look so easy.
Really good composure. That bunker was not going to mess up his plans here. That is a solid par putt right there. Well, that was a nearly flawless performance on the front side, but Frank, we know it's an 18-hole game, isn't it?
That's right. Now's not the time to pat yourself on the back.
This one is definitely heading left. Looks like it is going to end up in the rough. Pretty good result right there, considering...
It looked rough all the way.
Exactly.
Rich, really did.
Frank, really good chance from this position to make a birdie.
Yeah, really the only thing he's looking at right now is the flag. This is a green light special.
But he'll be disappointed with that, no doubt.
Yeah, swing didn't quite look right on that one.
All right, Frank, now the approach here at number 10. What's the right way to play it?
Just avoid that bunker on the right and don't go too long and left. Over the back left is not an easy up and down.
Try to scramble here. He's given himself a chance for par. Been pretty good all day from this distance, just trying to take care of business. Starting the back nine on a sour note here with a drop shot, bogey at the 10th. So a tester from 4 feet. Frank, it's been that kind of a tournament. Another bogey.
Yeah, it's not exactly a small gap between that player there and the rest of the field. That gap's got to feel like the Grand Canyon right now.
Hole number 11, 558 yard, par 5. Frank, players in attack mode here.
Yeah, just try and blitz it down there. There are other bunkers on the left to consider, but really, with that much fairway, this is a green light opportunity. There's a bunker over there.
I think he's headed for it.
Well, Mr. Ball does not meet Mr. Fairway. It's off, rough.
Second shot coming out of the rough here. So missed the fairway, and now he's back where he needs to be.
Yeah, minimize the problems.
Frank, from this point, it is all about precision.
Yeah, that right side, you're looking at that big gaping bunker. And that green's not very deep from that angle.
Frank, not where he wants to be, but not out of the hole here at the par 5.
No, but Rich, to drop a shot here would really send him backwards. The lie pretty much dictated the result. Thick rough, tough to get that all the way to the green.
Trying to muscle it out of there, but you had to be Schwarzenegger to get that one done. And he's made the green.
Even par currently.
Blemish on the scorecard, a bogey. Third round coverage comes your way tomorrow on EA Sports. For Frank Nobilo and our entire crew, I'm Rich Lerner saying so long for now.